Hi everybody, welcome back to Verbal Vomit, the casual pod where we just talk about random shit at random time. Just so you know that everything that we talk about won't have any link whatsoever, and we will just talk whichever and whatever it takes us lah. So just some housekeeping right before we start. Since the previous pod, we have actually added some timestamp, so you can just press on any timestamp you and on whichever topic that we will talk about today, and you can just skip ahead and listen to on our opinions on all these things lah. So I'm Gibson with my co-host today, Mark.
What's up, guys?
Hi, and today we have a close friend to both of us, Adam.
Hello everyone, Adam here.
Yeah, hi. So today we'll be touching on two topics mainly, insecurities and culture, Singapore culture, and whichever culture we'll be talking about lah. So just a bit of backstory and then also a fun story is that me and Mark used to be fat when we were younger, right? Mark, care to share
Yes.
a bit on that?
Okay, basically I was a child that was spoiled. So like, because I grew up with a single mother, my mother liked to spoil me, and my aunt also liked to spoil me. So whenever I was hungry, right, even just a little bit hungry, right, they would like cook all sorts of shit for me and feed me all sorts of shit. So eventually, right, my metabolism started to get lower and lower, and
Right.
then like my metabolism couldn't keep up with my food intake anymore. So
Mm.
in secondary 3 or 4 around there, I started growing a bit fat. Actually no, in poly I started growing a bit fat. Then
Mm.
to the point right where I was like 170 cm tall and like 78 kg heavy lah. So
Mm.
it's not like obese per se, but it's still fat lah,
Right,
overweight
right.
lah.
Yeah,
I
the
yeah.
mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. For my story is that like my siblings right have always been skinny, so I was the last child. I was the youngest child. So all my aunties and uncles like since young I was already fat. So I was not like I eat then I become fat. Like I was already fat, like those kind of fat kid. So when they just continuously feed me and they're like, oh my god, you want this? I'll just give it to you, just like you. But I have been fat, not like for you is you started around poly that you get fat, right? You got fat, right?
Because metabolism is like weakened already, and I don't do as much sports in like poly ma compared to
Right.
like secondary school.
Yeah, for my case, it's slightly different. I was fat till about the end of secondary school. That's when I start to lose weight. So yeah, but funny thing is, for Adam, right, on in your for you, you are skinny your entire life, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So
So
actually, to
sorry.
let everyone know that my whole family is actually kind of skinny
Mhm.
compared to my extended family, which are all like pretty on the bigger size.
Okay,
So
that's a
yeah.
good way of putting it, huh?
So when we go out for like family outings, right, they
Mm.
would sometimes like just joke around like, oh, you guys are too skinny, you gotta eat more.
Mm.
Yeah. So I don't really know how you guys feel, but
Yeah, I mean, okay. So the whole reason why I even asked you guys about this is because we're gonna talk about fat shaming and even okay, we cannot find a better word for this, so skinny shaming, right?
right.
So okay, Mark, what about you share? Like any like fat shaming story you want to share about like did that have it happen to you and what do you think it affects the society and like, you know, just
Hmm.
share some insights.
Okay, fat shaming, right? I don't. It has this. Everyone reacts to it differently, like in my opinion. Some
Mm.
people can take it positively and take it as a like motivation to lose weight, and some people can like take it badly, get stressed out, and then eat even more. Like it depends on
Mm.
each person. But
Yeah.
ultimately, right, fat shaming is not something that I really personally think is the best way to approach things lah.
No, but have
Because
it have like happened to you before? Like were you a victim of it or like
yeah, Adam should know we were in the same class in poly year 1 and year 2, right? People kept making fun of me because I was like a bit bigger size lah. Like
mm.
uh it wasn't necessarily good, like
Mm.
it didn't feel good lah to like
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
fat shamed lah, because you should know what I'm talking about, because like you probably like fat shamed before.
Yeah,
Right.
okay,
But
for me, yeah, sorry. Adam, you can go
okay,
first.
so I was thinking like, but they turn out fine for you because probably because of the fat shaming, right? You started to work out and lose weight, so eventually you got to the point where you are pretty healthy now. You're pretty slim, I would say,
Yeah,
compared to your year one.
but like during the course of the fat shaming, right, the end result is yes, it did motivate me to lose weight lah, but that was because like I didn't want to feel shitty anymore, because I
Right.
felt very uncomfortable being in my own body lah.
Mm,
Like
mm, mm.
if I didn't lose weight, right, I would just be constantly berated and mocked like what was happening in year 1 and year 2 of poly lah. And I didn't
Mm.
want that shit anymore, so I decided to like step up and just do myself a favor, make myself healthier, make myself look better and lose weight. But during the process of being fat shamed, right, it wasn't a very good feeling. Like,
It's a horrible feeling,
yeah,
right?
it's a horrible feeling
So
because
for
you're like being like tormented for being in your own skin.
right,
It didn't
right.
feel good
So
at all.
for my case, right? Because I would like what I said just now that I was fat since I was young. So all this while, right, I have been being fat shamed by my own relative. Okay, so you might say like, oh, they must be joking and all that, but up until when I was like more of like a young adult, when I was like ending my poly, that's when I actually talked to my mom about it, lah. And I said, actually, do you know it actually feels like fucking horrible because like back then, not only my friends were saying that I was fat, like I was constantly being bombarded since primary school, secondary school, like back home, and that's when you think it's your sanctuary, right? And even your relatives and your aunts and your uncles, even my own parents, my siblings, always bring up the fact that like they have to emphasize that I was fat. But okay, this could have gone two ways, right? For my end, right, I because of that, I had to make some way to don't make myself look so pitiful, right? I mean, I felt fucking horrible. So how I countered it, right, was to use humor. So I end up making fun of myself so that I can make people laugh. So it from a bad thing I made it into a good thing. But the thing is, I think in like the current society, right, if let's say I consider myself lucky. Luckily I have some sort of like weird humor that makes me be able to get through this weird timing, like this bad timing, right? But if let's say I didn't do anything about it, right, I think I would be a super depressed kid right now. And I just hope whoever that's listening, like right now, right, I hope you guys do. Like if let's say this is really a thing or whatever, right, just own it. If it's like if you really don't know how to deal with it, at least that's how I would advise anyone that's going through this.
Yeah, I
Mm.
tried dealing like with the fat shaming in poly with some humor as well, but every time I crack jokes, I die a little bit inside.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and people like don't realize, right, that the small comments that they make actually hurt you
Mm.
very deeply, one.
Right.
Such
Words do
as like,
cut, right? Yeah.
Mark, you can fit through that door or not? You sure you can fit through that door or not? Or
Yeah,
like
right.
you going past like someone in the lecture hall, right? Then they say, "Hey, bro, you can fit or not?" Like
Right.
small comments like this, right, may not seem a lot to you, but actually to the person, right, that is being like teased, or it might actually hurt them quite a bit, lah.
And
Right,
for
guys.
me,
But just a question, right?
yeah.
So, but since both of you were so-called fat shame last time, don't you think that because of the fat shaming that you guys managed to be motivated to slim down, basically, and
Yeah,
get to
it
this
did
point?
motivate me, lah. Yeah, like I said before,
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
motivated me.
even though it felt shitty, but it did somehow like push you,
Yeah,
deep down inside, it pushes you to work out.
it pushed me to like work out and like starve myself so that I can get the ideal body that I wanted, lah. But as
Right.
a result, right, my self-esteem and self-confidence took a hit, like up until now I don't feel as confident as I was like in maybe
Right.
secondary school, lah. It's like
Mm.
something that hangs on to you, lah, for life, lah.
Yeah, and it's yeah, it hurts me. It's so annoying because when you see, okay, I'm not trying to stereotype, but you see those like those teenagers, like those girls, right, and they say like, oh my god, I'm so fat. I'm like, yo, like you don't know how it's like to
Like,
be fat.
bitch.
Yeah, like, I've been fat like my entire life, and the funny thing is because even though I said I use humor, I make fun of myself. It actually felt damn shitty, and nobody ever knew about it because everybody thought I was happy. I was like that joker in class, right? But I was fat, so I like make fun of myself being fat. And I know, okay, it sounds damn sad, right? And like, but yeah, I mean, I dealt with that lah. But I think there was a fine line, right? So even though fat shame motivated me, but if let's say if being pushed too hard, right, it could have gone really bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
how I see it. And I mean, for yourself, Adam, you have been skinny your whole life, right? Is skinny
Yeah.
shaming a thing, or is it only fat shaming?
I would say that skinny shaming is probably on the lesser of the two evils. Like, yeah, it's not that bad compared to fat shaming. But the problem is, a lot of people who are skinny, right? They actually have super high metabolism. Then, even though they try to eat a lot, they can't gain weight. And then,
Yeah, I know a lot of people that's actually like that. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing, okay, the funny thing is because my dad, like when I was fat, when I was young, he would say like, hey, well, you're so fat already, don't want to go exercise, still eat so much, for example. Then now that I slept, there was a point in my life where because of all this, right, I really tried slim down, like you, Mark, like I starved myself, I don't eat as much, just so I can get that body that I want, right? So my dad was like, when that happened, my dad was like, hey, why are you so skinny? You never eat. Then I just ask him, I fat, you're not happy. I
Like-
skinny, you're not
Like,
happy.
bruh,
you
what
me
you
how?
want from me?
Yeah. How you want me how? You say now,
Right, right.
right? You know. Yeah.
Actually,
So
so when you're skinny, right, people probably comment like, "Oh, your family never feed you, is it?" Or your
right,
parents,
right. Things like that, right? Okay,
So you might feel bad because
Mm-mm.
your parents are being commented on like for not feeding you. So
Right. But
Yeah.
it's so. I mean, personally, have you like accidentally fat shamed anyone before, like on your end, like Adam?
I mean, yeah, definitely, because one of my family friend who's
Mm-hmm.
he's like kind of overweight lah.
Mm-hmm.
So we like practically whenever we hang out, my family will just make fun of him. His own family will make fun of him,
Oh man.
but he's like super okay with it. I mean, on the surface it looks okay lah. So, but I'm not sure whether he's
Yeah.
affected.
Different
Yeah.
people have different reaction to things lah. Some may be less sensitive to this kind of situations, and some may be
Right.
like more prone to being hurt lah. It seriously depends on each individual lah. To each his own.
Yeah, but for sure, but and I guess my message is that I hope that whoever that have this kind of issues, right? Like I think it's good to like just talk to someone like really bottom of your heart, because I have known people like in poly that they really like make a fool of themselves. I see myself in them when I was younger. So that because they are not exactly at the best like ideal weight, or like they are a bit overweight, right? And they make themselves look so bad so that they can get a laugh. So to get through this hard phase, right? So yeah, I just hope someone like if you're having this, please go talk to someone, man. Okay, anyway, speaking of which, right, in like insecurities and all that, like, do you have any stress about being successful, or like any form of other insecurities you guys would like to share? Like, let's start with Adam.
Securities wise.
Like insecurity, like maybe like okay, like okay, why don't I start? Okay, so like of course now we are all going to uni, right? All three of us. I think we have talked about this in our pod more than one time. I mean, I'm very stressful. Like, I really need to be successful. You know, like, what if I don't? Like, oh my God, I don't have enough money for my family. I can't take care of my parents and all that. Like, do you guys have the same thing, Mark?
Yeah. Okay. For me, right,
Right.
I feel like I have a little bit more pressure on me because like I come from a single parent household, and I also like am the only child, so I don't
Right.
have like siblings to fall back on if I like fuck up my life lah.
Right.
So it's less possible for me to take risks in the future, at the risk of being bankrupt and all that shit. No one would have no one will be able to take care of my mother, my
Right.
aunts who don't have children. They also take care of me, so I have to like I feel like obligated to take care of them. It's not obligated. I want to take care of them. And if
Right.
I don't get like a good future, right, then I wouldn't be able to help support them. Like who knows, man? In the future, right? Like what kind of problems they'll have. Like for example, right? Like elderly, you don't know what's gonna happen to them. Like maybe one day
Right.
they will have like kidney problems or like diabetes problems and all that kind of illnesses. Then who's to say like at that point of time, right, I will have enough cash to like help pay for all these kind of things. And
But is your mom like supportive of you, of like just pursuing your dream even though this is an issue, or like
my mom is pretty neutral lah. She hasn't said anything on this issue lah, cause I haven't really talked to her about it lah. But
right.
I like there's a pressure on me no matter what anyone says lah, like to succeed
For sure, man.
because I have so
Right.
many people to take care of.
Right. And Adam, yourself, you have other siblings, right?
Yes, correct.
So how's your situation about like being stressed about being successful? Like,
Okay, so the pressure is not as great compared to Mark, but it's still there because currently all my siblings are still living under the same roof. My eldest sibling, my sister, she is working, so actually she's fine. It's just that another sibling, my brother, he's kind of old, but he's still studying and
Right.
being depended on by my father.
Right.
Yeah, so being the third oldest, right? And as a guy I have to like the pressure is there to make sure that I get a stable job after I graduate from uni.
For sure. I think it's the same for a lot of people, right? Like when you are at this kind of predicament. I mean, for myself, I would say I'm slightly luckier because I'm the youngest kid, right? And like my brother and my sister are both working already. But there is still this like, what if like for my future spouse, or like for my kids, like and all that. And I mean, we all know that the working environment now is like pretty trashy. So definitely is there. Anyway, okay, so just to move on, right? So I mean, social media is a huge part of our lives, right? So when it comes to like insecurities and all that, like always ties to like social media, like how you look, how you present yourself. Do you all feel that social media is like a fuel that's like a sort of like a highlight reel that you compare yourself to? Like what? Okay, like just an example, right? A lot of people is not what they are like on social media and like in real life. Like what do you all think about this? Like do you all see social media as a way to show your not show your fake self, like but to like it's a different version of yourself? Like how do you all perceive social media nowadays? Like Mark?
Uh, okay. Basically, when I was like fat, right? I when I was scrolling through social media, it didn't feel good, like, because I see people like that. Oh shit, that's the ideal body that I want. And
Right.
like, why am I this fat and shit? Then I look at
Mm,
clothes also. Oh, I'm like, I want that shit. I want the fucking clothes. I want
mm,
those. I want that watch. I want that jacket. I want that all that shit. And I'm not able
mm,
to afford it or get it. And
right.
like, it's like portraying your ideal self. Like the more you look at it, the more your self-esteem goes down because you realize you
Right.
can't have all this shit. So I feel
But
like,
okay, but on your end, right? Like, do you post stuff like, but that is not exactly yourself? Like, yeah, like do you have I like do you do that? Like, Adam, do you have any instances where you do that? Like, okay, like
I'll say
yeah,
I used to do it back
mm,
in secondary school, maybe a bit in poly, but
mm,
over the years I've realized that Instagram, social media, and Instagram mainly, I'll
yeah,
say.
right.
So, yeah, people do post stuff just for the sake of updating people on their lives and
it's
to
to
show
show
others
off
that,
other. It's to show off that, oh shit, boy, I got a better life than you. What are you gonna do
yeah,
about it?
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean for sure. I mean, okay. I mean, of course, it leads to this question now. Like, are you guilty of being fake online? Like, do you feel that? Okay, for myself, right? I mean, since I haven't talked about it, back in poly, of course, I'm guilty about quote unquote being fake.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
Poly is
right,
where it's a lot of judgmental people, I'll say.
right. Like, I would post things and that. I mean, like, it's not like that's not me. It's just that it's not exactly the right representation of me. And I think
Right.
that's true for a lot of people nowadays, which is sad and it's scary,
Now Gabe has
like
given out on that already. All
yeah,
his
man,
pictures are his girlfriend. Right?
right of that.
But
Yeah,
I feel
but
like you can find the right balance lah in showing, the
yeah,
true,
right.
yeah, the true you, and
Yeah, I think I just at one point in my life I just found out that maybe social media is very superficial.
Hmm.
Like what you are outside, it's what matters, and maybe that's why subsequently I'm just less active. I used to let me be like completely honest. I used to tweet on Twitter and hope for retweets, and I don't know why. I think it's just a phase. And
Okay.
yeah,
come on,
right.
man, I
It's
think
just a phase.
everyone
It's
wants
just a
the same
phase.
thing.
Yeah, hey, dude. Everybody reached at that point
Okay,
at
let
one
me
time.
tell you all something very embarrassing. Like I had this
Sure.
friend like who had like 10,000 followers, right? Then I
Mm,
would like secretly like tweet something very very relatable to everyone, right? Then I'll
mm.
ask my friend, hey bro, just retweet a bit lah. So I guess
That's a bit too much. Yeah.
Oh man, that's too hardcore, man.
there's
Well,
like
but I mean, okay, I mean, I did something similar. Okay, this is just to sidetrack a bit, lah. So I think I talked to you about this before, Mark, about how I made this random trend on Twitter trended.
mm,
Did I tell you about
yeah
this?
yeah you did.
But I made a few of my friends like, okay, just a bit of backstory. When I was in secondary school, it was just for fun. I forget why exactly, but I decided to do this hashtag called McSpicy Damn Nice, and I made a few of my friends to do it, and then it just got spread out like wildfire. So at like in one evening, right, I was I think top 10 trending on Twitter. Like it's just a
Oh,
random trend. I mean, it was like, oh my god, achievement, right? Then back
Gabe
now
the
I think about it,
trendsetter, boys.
dude, I'm not even gonna put it on my fucking resume. Like, it's not gonna matter now. That's why if you go and see my Twitter now, I think my last tweet was like 2-3 years ago or something like that. Because
Right.
it's just not a part of me anymore. Like, do you guys still use social media as much as last time, or like?
No, definitely not. For me, right? So I used to
Yeah.
have a Twitter account which I used a lot in secondary school. So
Mm-hmm.
I always like tweeted, in hopes of getting retweets and getting like replies lah, so we can start conversations, right? But
Right. Like low
yeah,
key feel good, right?
yeah. But after some reflection, right, I think like wow, was like taking over my life, right? Like every time I'm not doing anything, right, I'll just take out my phone, scroll through Twitter. Always like, when the part where you just like drag down your screen to refresh.
Right. Oh, right. I think I've been there. So like, oh my
Yeah.
god, what do you mean? What do you mean I have no tweets? What do you mean I don't have RT after I tweeted this 5 seconds ago?
I use
What do
7
you mean?
hashtags. What do you mean I don't have any retweets?
Okay.
Okay. Anyway. Okay. So I mean, segue. So I mean, okay. So we're talking about images, right? Like how you present yourself, like on social media and all that. And I think the age-old question is that: do you think looks matter? Like, do you think looks ultimately matter in your life, like when it comes to job hunting, when it comes to like I don't know, like looking for like a significant other? Is it very important? Okay. So
Looks
for my
is in like physical look or like the image that you portray.
well, both, I guess. Because okay, I'm guilty of this. Okay, like let's say I meet a new friend, right? I mean, up till now, I'll still like, okay, I'll check out like your Instagram and I'll see how you're like. And
Oh,
I don't know why I still do that, but that's why I asked, like, do you think like look is still like your look or like the way your online presence, is it very important to you, or like do you think it really matters like in this day and
Online
age?
presence or looks?
Mm.
What?
Uh,
I'm a bit
like both are
confused.
like online presence and looks are, because online presence is also like how it looks, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, like what do you guys think? Like, do you think it's, I mean, even though like, okay, maybe the question is more of like, even though we all don't do it as much already, but there's still a certain level of like, I still care because I don't want to look like a trashy person online, right?
Hmm.
Like what do you guys think about this?
I don't think online
Uh,
presence has too much of an effect when it comes to job hunting, unless like you really fucked up and do like some stupid shit. Like,
mm, mm,
for
mm.
example, you go like flame Lee Kuan Yew and then you gonna like a lawsuit or some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Sounds very familiar. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the question is like when you're talking about online presence, right? So I'm the guy that does not have any online presence because I do have an Instagram account, but I rarely post nowadays. I just use it to stalk lah. So
Right. Truth
yeah.
is out, bitch. No, I'm
So
sorry.
maybe you can tell me whether the
Okay,
online
okay.
presence.
To be honest, right? The first time, okay, because Adam didn't say this, but since he's a mutual friend of me and Mark, but I only
Right.
know Adam through Mark, right?
Yes.
So of course, when I first followed you, yeah, man, I stalked the shit out of you, man. I just like, I was like, oh, you don't actually post a lot of things. So I was like, but okay, the old me, right, would say like, hey, this is weird. Like, I'm not used to this. What do you mean he don't post 5 posts in a day? Like, but yeah, no, I mean,
Right.
but now of course not lah. Like I mean, of course I check it out, but it's more of to see how you look like like in look in that matter. But I guess it's normal. It's just it's just like a background check kind of thing.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, just so we'll move on to our next topic for today will be culture lah, like about Singapore stereotypes about. I mean, Adam yourself you're Malay, right?
Yes. Yes, I am
So
pure Malay.
yeah, pure Malay, right? So is there any like things you want to share about like this, like what do you think about the Chinese in Singapore? Like any stereotypes among the Malay community towards the Chinese people, like any other people, like the other race, like Indians or whatnot.
Right.
Like
Let's just uh, get the obvious one out first, right?
yeah.
So Malays are like typically viewed as, just lazy and a bit dumb, right? Education wise, lah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no comments. Yeah, no, just kidding. Yeah, okay, carry on.
I mean,
And
you're a
also when
testament to that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh shit.
shots fired.
Yeah.
Just kidding, bro. He's
Yeah.
one of the most intelligent people I know.
Mm.
Alright. But I would say because like okay, so in the real world, right? So if you see at those like top managerial roles,
Mm.
you'll see mostly like foreign talents or Chinese lah in companies.
Right.
Yeah. So I feel right because okay, maybe the population distribution will play a part in this, but I think there's something behind this also, like some kind of a
Conspiracy theory.
yeah, some kind of biasness towards Malays, and maybe
Right.
that's why they're not in these roles.
Right. Mark, what do you think about this? Like,
Uh, for me, right, I feel like there's both good and bad things about like being Malay and all that shit lah. Because like, okay, for example, right, they get some bursaries that the Chinese students aren't able to get lah. For example, I don't know what's that thing called, the Mendaki thing, is it?
Yep, correct.
Mendaki bursary and all that,
mm,
and they get free education as well in secondary school and primary school. And I'm
right.
not sure about JC though. Poly they get a bit of subsidies as well.
Mm.
Um, but in terms of social aspect, right, that's for the educational aspect and the political aspect. In terms of the social aspect, right, I
Mm.
think like maybe like inevitably lah, because like the majority of the country is like Chinese, so
Right.
inevitably, right, there will be that prejudice that Malays are or any other races, right, aren't the superior race per se lah. I haven't personally experienced that lah. I've always been like very fair, very equal when it comes to Malays, and bro, my best friend is a Malay.
Right. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, okay, but the thing is, there's this, okay, I myself have heard this a lot of times that people actually feel that, like, people call it like the Chinese privilege. Like, in Singapore, like a lot of people say the Chinese is basically the whites. Like, what do you guys think about this? Like, do you all think this is true, or like, yeah, like, what do you think, Adam? Like, personally, from your point of view,
Yeah, I agree lah. I agree with that. That's
like, is there
sentiment.
any very like glaring thing? Like, yeah, I mean, it's okay, you can be candid. Like, is there like any like age, like for example, okay, like myself, right, I know of people that have instances where like for example, when it comes to job hiring, right, when they specifically write in their like what's that called, the requirement, that you're not Malay, like they will just put like Chinese or like not any other race,
Right.
like
Yeah.
which, okay, that was when I found out that like, hey, actually whatever, like this Chinese privilege thing is actually quite, like it's actually more prevalent than we think, right?
Yeah.
Like there's such a like, oh, you have to be Chinese for this, but who the fuck say that you other race cannot be cashier, for example, or like cannot be like admin stuff? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't make any sense to me, but apparently it's kind of a thing in a lot of cases. Like what do you think, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
sorry, Adam, you go first.
Okay, sure. So actually, that depends on like, for example, that example, right? It depends on the job lah. Like, let's say if the job is able to be done by like any person, right, or any ethnicity, then it should be open unless because like the shops, maybe most of them are run by Chinese, right? So like they like secretly want to work with other Chinese. So that's
Right,
why that's why they specify that they only hire Chinese.
Yeah, sorry, Mark, you were about to say.
what was the question again? Sorry.
So no, about Chinese privilege, like white, like us being the whites
Okay,
in the
for me,
country.
right, I think that's like a very like a very strong comparison to compare like to America where like
Right,
the blacks are living in the slums and all that. Because like that's saying too much lah. For me, I feel like there's yes a bit of like segregation, a bit of prejudice when it comes to like Chinese and Malays and other races and all that shit lah. But it's not as prevalent as the society in America where like blacks are actually segregated and not given equal opportunities and all that. For me,
Right.
yes, certain companies will have this prejudice that yes, I want Chinese people because they can work harder and all that shit lah. But
Right.
inevitably, right, like most companies in Singapore like do not actually have that kind of prejudice, not have the kind of views.
Right. Which I hope is true lah, because I mean, like, I hope more companies are not taking up like that kind of bad practice,
Yeah,
like bad
same.
ethical practice, right? Because oh yeah, of course, comparing to the whites is like super extreme, right? Like as compared to Singapore, we still live harmoniously, like, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
that there's still a lot of people that like throw this around, and so I just wanted it to be like the topic, Okay, so
That's actually a good point that our government has like succeeded in because like they have encouraged Singaporeans to be united as a race. They have done like the HDB thing where there's a
right.
quota on the
Percentage,
amount
right?
of Chinese that can be in one area, the amount of Malays that has to be in one area, and the Indians and all
Right,
that
right,
shit.
right.
They have done a good uh job in like uh making
I know,
the
making
society
it more.
harmonious one
Yeah.
to
I get
discourage
what you're saying.
segregation and all that. And
Mm.
yeah, kudos to them for that. So uh
No, for sure, man.
that's a good aspect. Yeah. But when it
Right.
comes to like NS where Malays can't go into the Air Force or some shit like that, if I remember correctly, right? Then
Right.
there's a problem there.
Right. Okay. I mean, just to share, like, that's when I realized that this is true about the. Okay, I don't know whether it's true, but of course, it's like a rumor thing, because I mean, you guys know how I look like in real life, right? So
Right.
a lot of people always mistaken me to be Malay, and I realized that because I was in the Air Force when I was in the National Service, right? And I realized that no one ever thought I was Malay, because it's just not a thing. Like in my camp, like it's damn hard for me to find another Malay. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in other camps, in army camps, in like all the other camps, it's damn easy. Like, I mean, like there's a right proportion of Malays and Chinese. Like back then when I was in BMT, there was a right proportion of Malay and Chinese, right? But when it comes to like this,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess there's still some gaps when it comes to the society. But I think as compared to last time, I'm sure that we're doing much better lah. And I hope, let's hope that it gets better. Okay. Anyway, speaking of which, this is something that Mark and I and Adam all want to talk about because the K-pop culture is getting very very popular, right, in our country. Not only in our country, worldwide, right? So like how did you guys you all listen to K-pop, right? Like how
Yeah.
did it all started? Like for what about you, Adam?
Okay, so I started getting into K-pop back in secondary school.
Mm.
Like really obsessed with the K-pop scene
Mm-mm.
because of like Wonder Girls. You guys probably
Right.
know.
Nobody
so,
know.
yeah, man. So that's the group that started me out diving into the K-pop world. So like for like the first 2 years of my secondary school, I was really into K-pop.
Right.
And on like Sec 3 onwards, then I realized like whoa, like wow, what's going on? Like I've been listening to K-pop all this alright, but the thing about K-pop is it's very catchy. The songs are very catchy,
Right.
but chances are that you might not know what the songs mean. So to me,
Right.
back in Sec 3, I thought to myself like, hey, I've been listening to all these songs, right? But do I actually know what they mean and what they stand for?
Right.
Yeah.
The one chorus, nobody but you. The rest of the song, forget.
Yeah. Yeah. So like Sec 3 onwards, I just like dropped everything. I stopped associating myself with K-pop.
Wow, that's quite a big jump, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you as in you just stop, like you just like, how man, ain't gonna listen to
Yeah.
this bitch, really? Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to be seen as that guy who, wow, that guy listens to K-pop.
Okay, what about you, Mark? Like how did you like start? How were you interested in like K-pop and all that?
Okay, K-pop, the K-pop trend really started around when I was like secondary one, so maybe around how old was I when I was secondary one? 13 years old, right? I'm
Right.
21 now. That's like 8 years back.
You're 22.
Yeah.
Okay, Karen?
Oh wait, yeah. Oh shit, yeah, I'm 22. Oh my god, I'm getting old, man.
Yep, okay,
Okay.
welcome to the life.
NS has ruined me.
Yeah.
And it started 9 years ago, and at that point of time, right, you know all the Wonder Girls, SNSD, and not BTS, 2PM and all that
Super
bullshit,
Junior,
right?
2
Right,
PM,
Super Junior, right?
2
2PM.
AM.
Yeah, I wasn't really interested. I actually hated the K-pop scene at that time because
Oh
like
wow, okay.
everyone was into it. Then I'm like, what the fuck? You don't understand the lyrics. Why do you like it at all? Because I was like some stupid hipster back then,
Right.
and like I actually judge people, right, that actually like all these shows, like all these songs, sorry.
Right,
And
right.
Do you see where I'm coming from? Do you see what I
Yep.
tried?
Yeah,
Yep.
but eventually, right, I started watching Running Man.
Oh,
Then
yes, Running Man. Back in
right,
Sec 4.
right. Wow,
it
yeah.
destroyed my like whole impression of K-pop that it was bad and all that shit. I like actually fell in love slowly and eventually falling into the deep trap that is Korean
Yeah, right.
society. And I started watching so many Korean shows, listening to so many Korean songs that even though I have no idea what like their lyrics mean, right? I really really appreciate their vocals, their music and all that. I
Right,
don't bother finding out their lyrics. I just listen strictly for the vocals. For example, you see
right.
like amazing singers like IU, right? Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god. You don't
Yeah,
need
man.
to know the lyrics to know that it's a beautiful ass song, man.
For sure. I mean, for myself, I'm more of like the Adam side. Okay, I didn't hate that Korean, but when I first heard Big Bang, right, like Haru Haru and like 2 p.m. again and again, and I was like, shit, this is good. But I was like, yeah, this is good. But I didn't like, oh my god, delve into it, right? Then I saw Running Man. Like I'm the same as you. I
Oh,
remember the
dude,
first
same,
episode, I
same.
laughed so hard and I died. And I just died there, like, bro,
Died
what the fuck? Yeah, like I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing. Like, why am I laughing at something that I mean, the subtitle, but I didn't quite understand. Like, but it was so funny. And up till now, like only recently, I mean, it got slow in the center, right? But recently, I got back into it, and it's there's this charm about K-pop, right? That it
Yeah.
just lures you in, like, yo, nobody but you. But yeah, like I'll still listen to it, you know. Yeah, I mean, okay, I mean, you all still listen to K-pop like right now, right?
Yes. You know
Right.
why? Because I'm in the army right now. So,
K-pop is
say
the
that.
only girls,
yes.
I mean,
They saved me, bro. They saved me through my hardships.
naturally, right, most normal guys, right, will be so attracted to Twice.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
basically, like
Sorry.
last time I used to hate all these K-pop songs. Like, what the fuck is sorry? What the fuck is that shit? But now,
Right.
right, even if they repeat the same thing like 6 million times, right? I still like it. I
Yeah,
don't know why
man.
it's like oh my god.
Dude,
Ah,
I mean, I went from what the hell is what's that song called, like Bumbaya, right?
yeah.
And all that. I was like, what the fuck is that thing, right? Now I'm like to everybody. Everybody do you do you do. Like I became like I just become a blink. Is that called blink? Are they
Negachi
called
chalaka. Okay, yeah.
Well, but oh man, to anyone. Okay, I mean, why do you think like media is like so like why is Korean so successful? Like what do you think, Ma?
Mm, actually, these Koreans, right, have actually gone through a lot of like training in order to appeal to the actual fan base worldwide lah. Like
Right.
since a young age, right, they have been trained and like the their bodies
Grail.
have been the ideologies have been drilled into their brain, their bodies have been like trained in order to take all these kind of nonsense lah. And some
Mm,
people right in the industry right actually get like very very bad depression from it. But
right.
the end result right is that everyone has fallen in love with the Korean culture and Korean
Right, but I think
media.
okay, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not too like sure about this, but I've heard and I've seen some articles about how badly they're treated also, right?
Mm.
And like there are some people that go on like training for like 10 is it 15 years? Is it for the what is it 15 years? 10
Yeah,
years,
yeah, yeah. It's since
who's like
their
the twice
childhood.
girl, I forget her name. Yeah, and they just or like some of them, if you're lucky enough, you get debut, right?
I think
But
Momo
if
is one of them, yeah.
oh yeah, was it Momo? I think so, right?
Mm.
Then some of them like you can go on for like 5 6 years and you don't get debut, and that's
Yeah.
it. You just wasted your life. And some of them like I heard that they pass out during like their training and all that. Like
They're actually forced to eat very little food on their diets. Like, the entire day they can only eat like one bowl of carrots and all that shit.
right. I guess it's good that we all realize that even though there's this like glorious like super glaring like K-pop, right, and like there's right now in front of the face like how amazing it is, but there's also this very dark corner of it,
That's the
which
price of success, man. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
right, which is sad because I've seen just recently I saw this on I think it's on Facebook or something about this group called NCT.
NCT, no.
NCP, no, never heard.
Okay, but they're just this guy group. Don't ask me why I listen to guy group too. Don't judge, right?
Judging.
Like this NCT group, right? Like when they speak English on their like live show, like you can actually hear their managers like shushing them, like like don't speak English. And a lot of people that were like there was this outrage, what the hell is this? Like why can't they speak English? Like it doesn't make any sense. But I don't think they've come on and talk about it yet. But it's things like this that make us feel that if behind their smiles and their fun, right, it's like there's something sad about it, which is I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Adam, what do you think about like the dark corner of K-pop? Like about
Okay,
what would-
so yeah, so just adding on, right, because the K-pop world K-pop scene has been going on for years, right? So I believe the market is saturated with all the groups coming out, right? So there are still groups, undergoing training for a few years before they debut on, don't know, like whichever year lah. So like I feel like a lot of them like might not be successful, you see. Then yeah.
yeah, but like about like what do you think about like the gruesome like the way they are treated? Like I'm sure you heard of all those before, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right. Is there like have you seen any that is like them jialat? Or like you
Jialat,
haven't
not really, but I know of like the common problems are like they're not eating well. They're always on a diet,
right.
which is very unhealthy, I would say, for
Right.
all of them. Just to maintain that that slim figure.
Yeah, to
Or
add
even
on
like
to that, right? Like, you actually know of like several K-pop artists that actually have depression and have left the industry. Some have even committed suicide, like the guy from is it
the
Shiny.
Kim
Shiny
Jong-
Shiny? Yeah, I was going
Right.
to say Super Junior.
yeah.
Yeah. For
Right.
example, like Choa of AOA has left the industry because like she couldn't handle all the she couldn't keep up with the training, she couldn't keep up with all that publicity anymore, and she just basically had depression now.
Right.
So
Right.
like it's a thin line lah that they have to cross like between that and like just pure depression.
Right. Okay. I mean, apart from like the music of of the Korea culture, right? The Korean culture. Like, is there any like do you all like indulge in any other like form of entertainment, like for example dramas and all that?
Oh,
Oh yes,
Like,
definitely. Korean
yeah,
dramas, man.
yeah.
It's
Okay.
very sad.
Like what do you watch? Like you guys watch? Like Mark, maybe you can share some drama that you watch.
okay. Korean TV shows in general, right? Okay, obviously there's the one that's like prevalent throughout Southeast Asia, which is Running Man. Everyone knows of that show. Everyone
Right.
who's anyone knows about that show.
Right.
Like
What? Okay.
because
Karen?
it's like the first Korean TV show that we know of, right? That actually is funny as hell, is entertaining, and like
Mm.
appeals to a Southeast Asian audience as well, a worldwide audience lah. And
Mm.
everyone knows about it. So that's what actually got me into K-pop. Like they invite all these guests onto their TV shows, then they play stupid games and enjoy
Mm.
themselves, and we enjoy the time that they enjoy themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all heard about this, right? But Running Man is like getting so big, right? For the next episode, the next week, I think they are inviting Brad Pitt and like
Wow,
the Mission
really?
Impossible crew. Yeah, I
Damn,
was like
son.
super shocked. I saw like Henry Cavill. I'm like, bro, what the fuck,
Oh,
super
bruh.
big. Like, everyone, dude, you're supposed to be in DC flying. Man. Like,
You know,
why
to
the
be
fuck
honest,
you-
right? I thought
Mm.
Running Man has like died out after some time.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but I think it's picking up already.
Yeah,
Like,
they had a low
I
point
stopped
at one
listening.
time. They had a low
Right,
point,
right, right.
like
Yeah,
when
the low point
very
was
few
probably
people
for a
watched.
few years, like I feel.
Right. I mean, to be fair, it's been running for like how long? 6, 7 years, right? Or is it more than that?
Yeah.
Mm.
Right. I mean, it's all the way back when it's like 2010, and now we're 28, 8 years. Like,
But
I mean, they're bound to be low points, I guess.
they have changed the way they did things. Like I mean, if they
Yeah.
continue doing like the activities they did it at the start, right? The bell catching
Oh,
thing.
the bell. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
then
Right.
eventually the novelty will get quite boring.
Right.
But they have actually experimented and gone a different route.
Mm,
In adding 2 new members to their TV show,
right.
as well as adding some new kinds of activities where they go overseas and experience the culture of other countries and
Right.
experience the thrills of the other countries as well.
Mm.
So that's a
Yeah.
good part. Good.
Yeah, but the amazing thing about you don't mind, right?
Yeah.
I
Sure.
don't
Sure.
mind.
Karen. Yeah.
Okay, so the good thing about Running Man is like they invite special guests like from could either be like from the K-pop world, from like maybe the acting scene,
That's the entertainment
actors
industry.
and actresses. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, because of Running Man, right, it exposes all this variety of people to the viewers, lah. So because of that, people will either start to listen to K-pop or start watching K-dramas because of Running Man, I feel.
Right. I've actually known a few people that like, because all of us listen to some music that we saw Running Man, right? But there are people that actually watch Running Man first. Then they are like, oh my god, actually it's so funny. I should go listen. Like what you said, which I think
Yeah.
it's amazing. Like they also like what you said, they feature like those not so popular actors. Then after that, it became a benchmark, right? Like you have to appear on Running Man
Yeah.
To
for you to be
blow up.
legit.
Yeah.
Like you gotta be legit after you got it's all those things. Yeah.
Running Man introduced me to like the Korean drama Secret Garden, if you guys know.
Oh,
You
so
know, from the sit-up
Yeah.
scene. Lah.
Mm.
yeah. Oh yeah, the sit-up scene.
Yeah.
Right. And the
I
shiny
know about it,
shiny
but I haven't
tracks,
gotten around to watch it.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So
That's
just like one of the
class.
many examples. Lah. Yeah.
Right. Okay, anyway, I think we are running a bit over time already, yeah. So I'll just end the pod right here. I mean, you guys wanna like plug anything, Adam?
Hey guys, so I have an Instagram account. It's called adamfarid.z.
I'll link that in the
It will be in
description.
the description below.
Yeah.
So you guys can check him out. If
Yeah,
you like
and
him,
I-
send him a DM.
Yeah, like slide into his DM, he's single, ready to make love. Yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. Mark, you have anything for the audience?
Nothing from me. Thank you.
Alright, so I'll see you next week or any next episode. I don't know.
Alright, thank
See
you
how we
guys
do
for
it.
having me in
No
this
problem.
podcast.
Hope you enjoy.
Pleasure talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Alright. Bye.
Alright, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.